Welcome back to the news reports for Fort Pierce, Florida. Welcome back to the news reports for Fort Pierce, Florida. Are we going? We're going to be discussing the effects on memory and personality with the presence of violence. A student looked at how violence and personality can affect what people remember as eyewitnesses. A total of 53 students participated in this study. They were split into two groups. 24 students watched violent crimes and 29 students who watched a nonviolent event. The results showed that 29 students that watched the nonviolent events remembered more information overall. Personality also played a huge role in this. Students who scored high in honesty had better memory performance. However, the 24 students that watched the violent crime had less memory. The effects of personality shifted. The emotional effect and openness were linked to less accurate memory, while responsibility was linked to more accurate memory. Overall, the study shows that relationship between personality, violence, and memory cause and effect situation. It's also true that the relationship between the witness personality and memory accuracy will be influenced by the presence of violence. Another related topic to the exposure to violence is the effect on short-term memory and the cognitive control. The urban groups consisted of people where violence and crime are not rare. Those surveyed between the ages of 18 and 24. The age group was chosen because young people typically have not moved away from the neighborhood in which they grow up in. On two groups, one from an urban setting and the other from a rural area. The group consisted of civilians displaced by war, who experienced armed conflicts up to 10 to 20 years ago. Many of these people were forced to abandon their homes and move elsewhere under threats, which happened just months before in the same region. In the first experiment, a first urban participant called the fearful or violent event, from which past years like armed assault and witnessing a murder. In the first experiment, a few urban participants called a fearful or violent event from the past year, like amend assault and witnessing a murder, while others recalled a joyful or neutral experience afterwards. All participants completed a short-term memory task involving Those who recalled a serious violence performed worse, while those who recalled joyful and neutral experiences had no effect on their short-term memory. The real question is, what do the people of Fort Pierce think about this?
Do you find it easier to remember emotion?
Alright,
Do you find it easier to remember emotional events compared to neutral events?
I think emotional events, probably because there's just that experience there, that way it affects you. You know, whether it's exciting or whether it's, not exciting and kind of bad. All of it kind of just sits with you, and it's really easy to linger on those. So I think that's why it's easier to remember those.
Okay, thank you.
It's yourself.
What are some emotional events that you think people would remember?
Anything like from that's just slightly distressing all the way to like something that can be, violent or anything that puts someone in a situation where they feel like they have to be in that fight or flight response, anything that really triggers, that physical reaction within people, just in general would make it pretty emotional to remember, or just make it something they can remember in general, I think, unless you have so many of them going on, right? Then you get like that PTSD stuff or CPTSD, and then it leads to people forgetting those things, right? But in general, anything that just has that level of excitement, especially usually if it's a one-off or thing that happens once or twice in your life, you'll probably remember that.
Thank you.
How does feeling emotional impact your short-term memory ability?
I believe that strong emotional feelings impact short-term memory by not remembering the surrounding memories. For example, I was pushed into the pool as a child, and at that time I was not aware of how to swim, so being pushed in was very scary. And I don't remember the memories that happened before being pushed in or being after for like 5 minutes, because I know once I like fully remember, it was just me being scared, but the direct memories around being pushed in, I do not remember.
Thank you.
No problem.
Would you guys feel confident in recalling any objects or people after a violent scene?
Yes, due to the fact that like I pick up to little details around like certain scenes like that, so I would focus on the little picture.
Right, okay.
I feel like yes, because like I don't know, I feel like I would more focus on like the person than like around the place, because I feel like I would just be in such high stress in my mind. But I feel like I would be able to like determine like the color of clothes or like the color of skin tone or anything like that.
Right.
But
And how would y'all feel during the scene?
It just depends on the scene because like it takes a lot to weird me out or to make me uncomfortable. So it just depends on the scene that I walk into and find myself in.
yeah, I agree with that. I feel like depending on how like graphic it is or whatever is happening, I feel like depending on that. But if it's like pretty insane, like I feel like I'll be like really stressed. But I also am like if I'm high stress level, I just tend to freeze or like walk away. But
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. Do you trust yourself in recalling emotional events or calm events?
I would say calm events. You know, there's been times where I'm playing basketball and, you know, when I'm playing, I've gotten hurt and I remember the exact situations on what happened. Like twisting my ankle, you know, I have to describe it to the doctor sometimes. But when you say emotion, oh, not emotional, when you say calm, like, you know, it is calm, you think about it, but like a minute, it goes away, you know? So, I mean, it's there, but at the same time, it's like, it kind of goes away. So that's why I would say, what was it, emotional intensity? Emotional intent? Yeah, I would say that, you know, when you're in the heat of the moment, it just kind of happens. It keeps going. You just keep thinking about it, right? And like, oh wait, oh yeah, there it is.
Okay, thank you. Today we spoke about the changes in memory and personality with the absence of violence and with violence. We also spoke about the change in short-term memory with cognitive control with the violence and with no violence. Hold on, let me lock it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Overall, this related topic talks about the difference of short-term memory and cognitive control with the violence and without violence. People around Fort Pierce had so many different opinions on our questions and articles. If you want to join us and be in the next video, make sure you apply to Indian River State College and come to Maisie campus. Thank you guys for hearing news reports for Fort Pierce, Florida.
See you guys all in the next one.